let's hop right into it. Welcome for some more Pokemon XG Next Gen. I think before we take on the final stretch, I gotta get everyone up to level 60 anyway, so let's do one more round battle. We only have 2 more to go, and I wouldn't mind saving the final area for post-game. So let's get Area 9 out of the way and see how we feel from there. I still can't believe we're already at Area 9, but I checked, the last video I uploaded was floor 75 to 80, so this should put me right at 81. If I was paying attention, maybe I'd even be able to predict what the final types are. But hey, we're at 81, and I kept to my word, and even though I reset it, I gave Talon Swift a rare candy again, so in a sense it made it out even better. Talon Swift didn't faint, and got a little happiness from an item. Not that it really matters, because we were already 2 peas in a pod, but why not? This is the same recording session as the one where I was complaining about everything being hot. So yeah, it's still hot. And I think I've left everything I wanted to say in my other brain. Oh, we go for the battle and see how things are from there. Ah man, maybe I should have gotten Discharge. Something tells me that the theme is Rock, because that's like the only type that these 2 Pokemon share in of itself. Actually, they're both Rock Psychic, aren't they? I keep thinking that Solrock is a Fire type, because it's based on the sun, but no, it's just a rock that looks like the sun. Yeah, what a good time it would have been to what a good time it would have been to have Signal Beam. That's the word I'm looking for. The bug type move that electric types seem to get for whatever reason. Now I think more about it, I'm thinking that the theme of this typing is not Rock, but Psychic. I'm starting to remember a Rock area or sub-area that we've done already. And I guess I could talk more about how my day went, because all I really got out of my mouth was that it was hot. And yes, I did get to that point, but I've been having a nice weekend overall. Yesterday was Pokemon Go Community Day for Bluesky, and it's been a little bit since we've gotten a Community Day of a Pokemon that I think of. If you recall, last Community Day I didn't even bother going out and actually just shiny checked as I was playing this game. If that's any occurrence or statement about how I felt about that Community Day. Hindsight, I kind of regret it because I didn't realize like how rare Bellsprout was of a shiny in Go until after the Community Day was over, because I thought I had like several already, and looking back, like the only shiny Bellsprouts I think I got were the ones from Community Day. Kanto's just been so prominent everywhere that I guess I just assumed that I had every shiny Kanto Pokemon that was of value, or at least all the major ones got Community. And I mean, it's Bellsprout. It's not exactly a quote-unquote major Kanto Pokemon. But still, oh hey, the confirmation that this is the Psychic type area. Flame Chomp, this is your time to shine, assuming you can survive long enough to actually even get to do so. You're probably going down this turn. So this would be a good opportunity for Flame Chomp to get some experience to get caught back up with the rest of the team. The problem is keeping it alive long enough to do so. I mean, my man, if you're competing with Talon Swift for durability, you kind of have some problems. Do I really not have... Is my Houndoom really my only option against Metagross? Guess it doesn't matter too much with everything ending soon, but still. Not the most assuring thing in the world to notice that, oh hey, my team has a bit of a hole to Gen 3's most famous Pokemon. At least the most famous and lovable in the competitive scene. granted, I am making a big assumption, but I think enough YouTube videos about competitive Gen 3 have popped up in my feed for me to make a safe assumption like that. Let's talk about Pokemon Go. Yeah, Bellsprout Community Day. Maybe I should have actually went out and walked. I don't know. I don't remember how things were back then, and I'll take any opportunity that I'm willing to give myself to actually record and commentate this game. Because YouTube's been kind of a little bit tricky at squeezing time in for more and more. And you bring all that up because, like, this week has been pretty good for me. I actually been able to go to each of my local parks throughout the course of the weekend because I gave myself a little extended weekend. Main reason why I was able to record the day after Community Day. I had some time off and I figured, like, this, even though I don't need the time off for Community Day per se, having the day after Community Day, I was saying, having the day after Community Day is kind of convenient because, especially when it's something that I really want to go out and play the full time for, that gives me a little less time to do other things like record videos in my weekend. Dang, I really wish I could have predicted to protect. That would have been so fantastic to block that move and... Oh. Guess what I'm not doing this turn? It's so weird to use a potion in Mount Battle, and I probably shouldn't. It's overkill, but... I did try out and see if I could refight Chobin, and it worked. And... if you haven't already seen it, I'll show it again, but... Chobin is pretty... Robo-Groudon is surprisingly easy if you have one Pokemon with Fly Guard and one Pokemon with Earthquake. And god dang this Wobbuffet, it is... I am not letting you take out Flame Chomp. There's way too much going on. For the love of almighty, Wobbuffet, do literally any other move. I know I'm kind of scary with my double nasty plot boosted Houndoom. But it's only a matter of time. I ain't attacking you when you're trying to take me down with you. Just give up. Give up. We're not PP stalling Destiny Bond, are we? Okay, Psychic Fairy might be a problem. Let's see if I can get a paralyzation off. Ironically enough, I still think... I go for Heat Wave, but no, the stupid Wobbuffet wants to ruin my day, wants to ruin Flame Chomp's day. All I'm doing is trying to get a little EXP for my girl. And you want to just ruin this perfect opportunity that I had to set up with it. Come on, you're getting hit by special moves. You can get a little boost. You can, like, take a break. You aren't taking out the Houndoom. I'll switch out another Pokemon to take the fall if I absolutely have to. I say I just poison you. I'm not sure if I have that option though. I'll find something, some way to get around your stupid Destiny Bomb BS. So just give up, my dude. Stop making your Wobbuffet do the same move over and over and over again. I ain't gonna put up with that. Do I have anything that does gradual damage? No, but I do have Spore. Right. No, I refuse. How much power points does Destiny Bomb have? Because if I wouldn't prefer not to spend my entire day inside. Welp, that's unfortunate. That's a bad time for the mic to die out. It's a shame, because when I saw it run out of power points, and it only do struggle. The only move this stupid Wobbuffet has is Destiny Bond. The hysteria that came out of me, I am unfortunately don't think can be properly replicated. My god. It does make me laugh just thinking about it again though, so I guess that works. This Wobbuffet, so dumb. I can't believe this guy's strat was to have a Wobbuffet with only Destiny Bond as its move, and just spam it until it takes someone out. I can't believe you thought it would work. I'm glad my stubbornness paid off. Also, I did look it up. I could have sworn Destiny Bond had more than 5 power points, but oh boy, am I glad I was wrong. I might be thinking of something from older generation, because power points especially seem to have gotten rebalanced. If not from this current generation, then just the previous generation before. And I didn't look far enough in the Bulbapedia to see if that change actually happened. But sure. Don't mind me, let me just get this. I got my freaking earbuds tangled up. Close enough. I'm keeping this Audacity file up and prominent on the window just to assure that doesn't happen again. I would get more into some stories about how things have been, but I hate to sound like a broken record, but it's hot. I was at least in... Sorry, I almost freaked out because I thought I lost the mic again. It's been a couple hours, but I did take a bit of a break to run the fans for a good half hour as I was rebattling Chopin. One, so I could... because I reset the recording, so that wouldn't have been canon unless I did the battle again. And two, to test my theories of if you can refight Chopin multiple times. Sure enough, as long as you leave the area and come back, you can fight him again. And I figured out why it was so much money. I completely forgot that I had the amulet coin equipped. But yeah, if you just have a Pokemon with Earthquake and a Pokemon with Fly Guard, I realized that you're pretty much immune to everything Chopin can do. I thought I just got lucky because it couldn't stop spamming Heat Wave because it had it's all the grass type. But then I think it ran out of power points for Heat Wave and started doing... I'm gonna just pretend that didn't happen. Flame Chomp, Flame Chomp. This is your time to shine, they're all psychic types. If you don't get all of the experience in the world here, where are you gonna get, how else are you gonna get to level 60? So yeah, I mean, then I realized that it had Discharge as well, and I think Earthquake, Discharge, and Heat Wave. If it had a fourth move that wasn't an AoE attack, it sure wasn't showing it, so... That's right, if you need money in Pokemon XG, just have an Earthquaker and a Y-Guarder, and you're set. Y-Guard is a tutor TM that you get in that Gate Village, and you can reteach it as many times as you want, so... There's nothing stopping you. And I feel bad, because Chopin just had some dialogue saying, I'm running out of money, so no upgrades, just I'm battling you on sheer will. And I feel bad about just taking advantage of my dude. Maybe you won't though. Really? Oh my god, so close yet so far. Now, someone might have to remind me, but I've been thinking about something. Like, I've been thinking about what item would be good for Talon Swift. I currently have the Muscle Band on it, which is probably an issue. If I had a Life Orb, that would have definitely taken it out. Thank you for taking yourself out, Executor. That's well appreciated. As I was saying, no, it's hard to find something good for Talon Swift. Life Orb might not be a bad option because it's pretty much all or nothing anyways. But I was kind of hoping to find something that, like, makes it die less often, or faint, technically. And I think I came up with an idea, but I'm a little hesitant to go on the idea because it requires using a consumable item. I'm thinking of like equipping focus bands to Talon Swift. That way it's always guaranteed to survive a hit, which will... Well, it goes first anyway, so it's always guaranteed to... So that's not an issue, but if I have the bands on, I can start out every battle with a Tailwind. I got scared, but then I realized Gardevoir doesn't have any flying type moves. Now, what was I saying? Yeah, I get Tailwind, and even if I get one-shot, the Focus Sash would save me, and depending on the attacks, I could roost it off, or just get Talon Swift out of there without losing out on experience. Problem is, Focus Bands or Focus Sashes, I think, two different items. It's hard for me to keep them apart. There's a better wording for that phrase, but it's not coming to mind. I shouldn't be as worried though, because a couple episodes I was just complaining about how I did not have enough good options for Talon Swift. Or I mean, I did not have enough good excuses of things to use my battle points on. And I believe Focus Sashes were an item for Mount Battle, so hypothetically I could just like buy 20 Focus Sashes and that should be more than enough to last the rest of the game. I might need a reminder to actually go through with that. And alternatively, if I can find a better item to use for Talon Swift, I would prefer just to do that. Issue is nothing's really coming to mind. Speaking of unfortunate things, man, I complain about Talon Swift dying a lot, but Houndoom seems to be the one having those problems this time around. Doesn't help that like all these psychic types are just flat out powerhouses to begin with. Okay, I was hopeful that like could take advantage of his frailness. It would suck to just put the experience share on Houndoom when it's this far back. I think part of the issue, it might actually come down to an EV thing. I don't know if I got time to explain what effort values are, but the fact that the rest of our team has pretty much been with us for a really long time. Pokemon like Talon Swift have been with us since the very beginning, and everyone else isn't that much further behind. Meanwhile, Flame Chomp has been sitting in the PC for like half the game, 95% of the game, and then we pull out for the final area and get all shocked while it just keeps failing to each time, when it's had no time to get effort values. I don't know how to alleviate that without actually just sticking it in the battles. Can't really think of a good way to do it without grinding, especially if it keeps feigning here in Mount Battle. Speaking of feigning in Mount Battle, you put up a valiant effort, Talon Swift. But I will assure you, they won't go in vain. Man, this would be a good time for priority, but I'm pretty sure the only thing I have... also a pretty bad time for that to run out. Only thing that I would have would be Ice Shard on Ellie, and that would just get resisted anyways. You know, I never did bother to switch Thunderbolt for Discharge. Maybe I'll try to remember to do that next battle. This could be a good chip move to finish it off, though. I swear, if it managed to survive that hit, oh, I would have had complaints. Anyways, where was in my story before I got incredibly distracted by just all the chaos on the battlefield? Last I remember, I was talking about Pokemon Go. Oh yeah, I never got... There was Community Day, I never got a chance to mention yesterday, the day before. The day before, in Pokemon Go, just a casual walk in the park, I do a fight against one of the Team Go Rocket leaders, Arlo, And you'll never guess what Shadow Pokemon left behind. It was a frickin' shiny Shadow Cacnea. Yes, for one, yes, if you haven't been keeping up with Pokemon Go, Shadow Pokemon are singing there. Ironically, it's a mechanic that's so prominent in there that a lot of competitive scenes in Pokemon Go prioritize using Shadow Pokemon and not purifying them, because that's how good they are in the game. 2, no. Allegedly, there are no ties between Shadow Pokemon and Go and this game. Everything I could find claims that it's only pure coincidence, and even that is a stretch. No one really talks about where Nan got the idea of Shadow Pokemon and Pokemon Go. It kind of just happened. Happy coincidence. Allegedly. Even if I'm really pushing the alleged part. What was I saying? Oh yeah, like, it's kind of weird because Pokemon Go is the first game ever, main series, spin-offs, any concept of Shadow Pokemon in Pokemon media, period. Go is the first time there's ever been shiny Shadow Pokemon. Intentionally. I just remember I made all that big fuss of how technically you can get shiny Shadow Pokemon in Coliseum, but fun fact, they did not intend that. That's why it's so convoluted to get them in the first place. They were trying to soft lock or shiny lock Shadow Pokemon, but they screwed up the code. So instead of locking it completely, they lock it when you first encounter the Pokemon. But when you snag it, the lock goes away. And I never actually, I had all that hype about, oh, I should use this, I should equip Discharge, and I never actually did it. Like, I didn't even get into the craziest part about the Shining Shadow. Like, I wouldn't call myself a hardcore Pokemon Go fan, but I don't think it's fair for me to call myself a casual Pokemon Go fan either. I don't really engage with the rating system, which is why I consider myself more of a casual fan, nor the PvP. I just occasionally check it out and occasionally tune into a stream. It's kind of like in the middle. Well, that's a lot to say that it's been 14 months since the last time I've gotten a shiny Shadow Pokemon. Yeah. Over a year. And that's because the whole process is pretty... Not only is it like, I'll double check in editing, but I'm next to certain that out of all the things that have shiny odds in Pokemon Go, a shiny Shadow Pokemon is the highest odds. It might be easier for me to say it's the rarest thing. It's the rarest form of it's the rarest type of Pokemon that can be shiny in Pokemon Go. In pure technical terms. On top of the number being really far against you, the process of even getting a chance to see if a Shadow Pokemon turns shiny, that's a whole other thing. Not too long ago, like within the past year, the only way you could get a shiny Shadow Pokemon was from a Rocket leader. But in order to face off against the leader, you have to fight some grunts. 6 in particular. Once you... I guess it's inevitable that we're going to start running into legendary Pokemon. But I was still caught off guard by that. I didn't even finish the whole thing. Okay, turns out I was slightly wrong about those base odds. After doing some searching on the internet, the base odds of a shiny Pokemon in Pokemon Go, by default, is 1 in 500, which is slightly rarer than finding a shiny Shadow Pokemon from a Rocket Grunt. The rates of those is 1 in 256, which is about double the odds, but you do have to go through a whole Rocket battle each and every time. And I'm fairly certain that it has to have been a Shadow Pokemon that Team Rocket leader used at one point in time before they let the Rocket Grunts have their Shadow Pokemon be shiny. So, unless you know all that off the top of your head, it's possible to fight a Grunt that doesn't even have the possibility of their Shadow Pokemon turning shiny. After that, you could have fooled me, but if you go through the hassle of battling 6 different Rocket Grunts, then hunting down the leader, your odds the Shadow Pokemon being shiny is 1 in 64. Keep in mind, you gotta do 6 battles, and these are scattered throughout Pokespots, or not at every single one, or from a balloon every 3 hours, if not less infrequent than even that. Still stands that the last time I got a shiny Shadow Pokemon was over a year ago, so if anything, let that be the testament of how rare these shiny Shadow Pokemon can be, unless you're going out of your way to fight Team Go Rocket. So I was pretty hyped to actually get that. Worst of all, I almost completely screwed it up because I was so excited. I wanted to get a screenshot of the shiny Shadow Pokemon sparkling, game booted me out of the catch screen. So for a second I thought I was screwed, but then I thought of going back to the stop. And lucky for me, the leader wasn't there, but their Shadow Pokemon still was, so I was able to actually catch it and stop messing around. Oh, Flame Chomp, Flame Chomp, Flame Chomp. I think I am gonna just Rare Candy you. You know, what are you holding as an item? If you don't even have a good item, I went through the trouble changing everyone's items, but forgot about freaking Flame Chomp. I don't think I brought it with me, but if I did, maybe I should have just equipped the Macho Brace. And then we would be good. And every battle that it did survive, it wouldn't get as much experience, but it would get it would catch up on the EVs with everyone else. Yeah, I would go on about the Shadow Pokemon in other games of Pokemon Go. But this battle's almost over, it's where I would end the part. And I can't even promise I'll talk more about it next time because I think I'm gonna take a break. I really need to run the fans, open the window at the very least, but I really don't want to affect the recording. So, sorry it's a little all over the place at the end. But thank you all for tuning in for another edition of Pokemon XG Next Gen. Before I forget, also did I really try to give you an amulet coin? We don't get coins from Mount Battles, silly Jacket K. Why did you do that? You know what? There's no way we're gonna run into a type that's good against the Houndoom will be good against in the next set, so I guess you can get the experience share. It's better than nothing. And if I'm so concerned about the EVs, you'll pick up any EVs we get along the way. Like, you can only talk so much about EVs before you completely alienate everyone. And I'm already alienating the hardcore people by just taking whatever we can get. So everyone's just gone on Mars by the time my rambling's done. Okay. That's it for me. Thank you all for tuning in for Pokemon XG. And I'll see you for the next part where we finish up this area. Take care.